Hi, my name is Tongpyeol Min from Ponder the Education, which provides creative thinking education. Now, this video, I'm going to discuss about debate and discussion and negotiation. Generally, you can find that there's some education provider for the debate, how to build the skills to debate, and then discussion also. But discussion, you might not be able to find much of the education providers that actually dealing with the discussion. Negotiation, yes, there will be, but it's more likely the professional level, right? So the debate might we can think of a debate as the easiest way to approach. But after this video, then I'm sure that you will change your approach because that there's some reason that I suggest you to practice and build the skills in discussion and negotiation, not the debate. Okay, so here's one example that we can I brought up here, which is a genetically modified salmon. This genetically modified salmon is the one that generally that what people think. Well, there's a lot of the reason to debate, right? So because it's sometimes the environmentalists that comes in and that this is not a good way, and then the healthcare professionals comes in saying that this is not good. And in terms of the business, they say, okay, this is good because we are getting a lot of money in shorter period of the time. Now, so there's the each time when you have this type of topic, there's three different ways to approach. One is debate, right? And second is discussion. And third one is negotiation. But negotiation is more likely the professional level. So, but and then with this, the genetically modified salmon, the topic that I chosen might not be good for negotiation. But I'm going to explain anyway to the differences, and then from there, what I'm going to provide is that how you can actually do with the discussion and negotiation, not the debate. The reason that I don't recommend the debate is simple, because in order for you to participate in a debate, you have to choose a side. Side meaning that, let's say, this genetically modified salmon, is it good or bad? This approach generally works best because it is the easiest way to approach. And think about it. If you think that the genetically modified salmon, okay, this is good. You can collect a lot of info, the data that can support your logic. Because let's say, okay, this salmon you can grow in, let's say, about less than year. I don't exactly know how long it takes, but to be marketable. But as you can see, that these are the same the aged salmon, and then you can see that the size of the body is completely different, right? So this is 18-month old, and then let's say this one is now marketable, but this one is still under development. That means that you can get a lot faster, and then this will reduce the chance of getting the viral or bacterial infection, and then you lose the entire fish. You will reduce it. Or sometimes, let's say in 3 years that the weather changes, I mean climate changes too much, so that if regularly, let's say if with the regular salmon you need like a 4 year term, and then let's say third year you have really hot weather and hot summer, and then because of that this salmon all wiped out, then you lose your profit, you lose your entire investment, right? So with that, you can easily find the good and bad, and then you can debate about it. So this is the simplest way. As long as you collect a lot of data, then, well, more likely that the data competition. So you have more data, solid data, then you can win the game in the debate. But is it a good way to practice? The reason I say that I suggest not to falling into the debate section is because of this. Once you choose a side, then your brain only works in that box. That means you are not able to see, you are not going to be able to see that the other side around in different angle. That means your brain will be fixed. So as you continue with the debate over and over, your brain will just constantly box in whenever something new topics comes in. So if you have a new come, then you already choose a side and you determine what is the result, what is the decision. You already made the decision because the choosing the side meaning that you made a decision already. So before even you explore the topic in different angles and different side and then different depth, you already choose a side and then you're ready to debate. And if you continue to do this, then your brain will box in more and more and more. Then later on, whenever something comes in, then you will say, so what? Give me a result so that I can do something. You will always look for the result instead of the following the processes that where you can explore the topic. Okay, so debate is not the one that I recommend. Well, if you have to, well, sometimes you don't have choice because some of the people uh, just constantly insist their own way, and then there's no way but just debating over the topic. Well, that happens in that case, then well, you can engage it, but other than that, I suggest not to get into the debate, especially for any education provider says that okay, we can train you how to be a best person in the debate field. Well, you have to think about it this way. If you already, if you were getting those training, then your brain will gradually block and then not developing. Because once you choose a side, there's nothing to think. That means that your thinking process is not really developing. You already determined. You made a decision. Well, there's nothing to think about it, right? Nothing to explore about it. But education field and then study and even teaching and studying all this education involved the field always in the well kind of says that this is the way to approach is looking at the same topic in various angles so that you can see differences back of the side of the problem and so that you can tackle the problem in different way. Now on the other hand, what is the discussion then? Discussion is something like this. You, well, generally discussion is the one that they used for when there is one given goal. So that means that let's say this team, I belong in a team where we need to develop a project. Then people gather together and then discuss over the topic. That means they come up with all out of ideas and then they try to provide their own thoughts and logical thoughts and then try to meet some certain the decision so that they can move forward, right? Now in this discussion then you can think of it in this way. There is a topic already given. That means now you are already boxed in. So basically this looked just same as a debate. But when you have this topic given, then the difference from the debate and discussion is this. Even if the one topic is given, there's no side. At least, there's no side. So you don't have to choose a side. You have to see this topic. You can objectify this topic, and then you can look at in different angle, and then you can hear from different ideas from different people. Then now, what you can do is you can start thinking, and then you can listen to others. Now, basically, at least you can listen and communicate. So communicate flow. And as the communication flow, then what will the skills that you're going to build is that you are listening to others and then try to meet what they're trying to talking about, try to digest the information, and then try to meet what they need, and then try to come up with some of the ideas that how can make all these things come together and to achieve a goal. So this is a lot more advanced level compared to the debate. But problem is because it is not really there's no side because there's a you are my enemy and I'm on this side, so we will fight. This is the easiest way because you have to find their weaknesses and you have to bring your strong the part and then you try to fight and compete. And that's what debate is about. But problem with the discussion is that there's no side. Because of that, now if you are not able to objectify this topic, then you are not going to be able to really engage in the debate discussion. So there's one challenge in there. That means you have to, well, this is what I say, conceptualization, which means that you have to conceptualize what you need. So in case of a genetically modified salmon, the conceptualization is this. Instead of going like, this is good for the businesses, or this is bad for environment, or bad for health, or something like that. Instead of going that direction, what you do is you just explore, okay, how fast this genetically modified salmon grows. Okay, then once they grow, then they use the growth hormone. They produce growth hormone of more than these regular salmon. So then, if they are in adult food and where about they are being marketed, then how much growth hormone left inside of their body. Then, if there's a certain level higher than other salmon, then what this will do further if human, when people consume this product or something like that. And then what happens if this salmon released in the wild? And this is growing fast. That means that they might have less the competitors in the wild. Then they could occupy the ecosystem faster than other the regular salmon or something like that, right? And then you collect all the information and you need to objectify in before you even say good or bad. And then when it comes to the discussion, then what you need to do is you need to show them that okay, if the other person says that okay, this might be a problem for the environment ecosystem because they grow too fast, and because of that their growth rate is fast, because of that they need more food, and then with they can outcompete with regular salmon, then they'll be the one that the dominant in the ecosystem, dominant species in the ecosystem. Then I come up with the questions. Then okay, they grow faster, but there is already when it comes to the ecosystem, then there is predators that might be able to control these salmon because the if the sharks, for example, or the killer whales, if they started having these, then well we could have a problem solved. And then one way to do is why don't we train the killer whale to feed on the salmon, Atlantic salmon that might escape from the farming area. Well, that's actually a story I made up from about the lionfish. When lionfish introduced by some of the people who had as a pet and released in the ocean, that there's no enemy. And because of that, the scientists came up with the idea that the feeding sharks with this lionfish by hunting, actually divers going in and hunt them and then train the sharks to show them that this is good to eat or something like that. Then killer whales or something. That's the story that I adopted, and just in this case. Then, in this way, what happens is you are expanding the concepts more wider by other people's idea, by asking questions, and by providing your own idea, and then having other people's that the logical kind of the challenges. Now you are building your logics larger and larger as discussion goes on. So basically, discussion is the one that you will be able to build skills to uh, the widening your concepts, at the same time communication, and all in one in there. Now then, how about the negotiation? I'll just make the negotiation as a little bit simpler in here. Negotiation is that when you are dealing with someone already decided that I'm on this side, let's say good side or bad side. Then, now in your case, you have to approach, you have to objectify this, someone who already choose a side, and then what you need to do is after objectifying it, you have to follow the trail of their logical thinking, and then you have to bring them out of it so that they can see themselves as a third person. So with this genetically modified salmon, I cannot really provide the example unless within a short period of time. But this is more likely professional way because you have to follow the person who already have chose a side. You have to follow that person's thinking processes and then bring them out of the boxes so that they can see themselves as a third person. So it is very challenging. Okay. Well, but if you start objectifying in the discussion, then gradually you can move on to here and then you can actually work on them. Okay. And in order for you to do this, then the best way is first conceptualize, objectify the topic by conceptualization. You will find that how to conceptualize in one of my the pondered education providing the lectures, and then you can objectify it, and then you build skills to describe and question based on the description. Then that's the first step to do about the discussion. And then if you can continue, then you will build more in depth of the communication skills, which I'm not going to talk about in here, but you can find from one of my lecture videos. Okay. Okay, then I'll stop about this video here, and I'll see you next time.